Hello, I am Angel Feliz, and this is the data science learning community. We are studying the on our outstanding user interface with Shiny, the book club, and we are going to discuss today the chapter 3, discovering Shiny dependencies, and handle HTML dependency with HTML tools. So, in the first chat that we're going to see now is this chat that will help us to understand uh, Shiny dependencies in R. So Shiny creates HTML code for us. That's something that we really like for that. But it's not enough to design a beautiful working app with user interactions. All modern websites and apps have a lot of CSS and JavaScript under the hood. And even though you just create a simple Shiny app with Hello World, we saw our chapter, we will see that it has more dependencies inside the head tag. We can see here that is loading jQuery 3.5.1. Also, they have Shiny CSS, custom CSS for Shiny. Also, they have Shiny JavaScript in this version, and even Bootstrap 3 as part of the framework. And they're important using these links. And those are and here are the basic web dependencies that use Shiny. Let's talk about Bootstrap. Uh, Bootstrap provides plug and play layout to interactive elements such as tabs, navigation bars, tooltips, put powers to customize our Shiny app. So you don't need to create all those classes from the scratch. You have a lot of work done. One of the great advantages of Bootstrap is the responsiveness to the design. You can work either on desktop or mobile. Like it will switch. Like you have depending on the space on your screen, it will the view will adapt with Bootstrap based on the 12 columns layout. The code that summarize Shiny Bootstrap based layout elements such as well-known fluid page uh, can be found here. Like if we go to the source code of the fluid page, we can see here that it just called a function bootstrap. What is a div? Uh, and with this class, what is returning this function? Well, what is doing the bootstrap page function? We'll go here to the R folder, just bootstrap. Here we have the function, and basically what it's doing is taking uh, the arguments and adding the head, the titles, uh, adding the style sheets, and just and passing the same list. The div element that we saw for the fluid page. So basically, what it's doing is just completing the head part, the title, and not much of that. So also have argument list is creating this list. But basically, what I see is just setting dependencies. It also use jQuery for the DOM manipulation. jQuery is a library of JavaScript that developers perform DOM manipulation that is interactive with the HTML elements in more user-friendly manner than just pure JavaScript. So yeah, you can write this, create this variable with this button, and it click, you will show an alert. But if you just use jQuery, you just need to apply the class on and decide what's the action, and then you just need to place the there. So yeah, you need to write less code uh, to have the same behavior. And also, uh, we can have custom dependencies uh, to fine tune our layout, to register input and output, and handle every single input output action. The tele mechanisms to study. Yeah, we're also to see more details how to do it. Uh, initialize and contour are in JavaScript communication with the WebSocket, also to handle alerts and notifications, uh, and showcase most important elements of custom files. So yeah, I really like this exercise. Uh, let's do it really quick. Let me just share the screen. Uh, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, if we just run uh, shiny in the example, of course, yeah, when you copy the W element of unaware. Uh, Let me just go back. Okay, now you see this shiny app?
Yes, I'm able to see the app.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, the app is working. It has a modern look. Yeah, it's really useful. Bootstrap 5, and we can inspect here and configure that under the head section. Or we see jQuery, we see Bootstrap 5. I use it now because they have this look. But what happened if we just remove those dependencies? We can make the experiment. We can go click here, right click, and delete the element, and we see how we lost the look, the shape we have in this part. Also, we can also change or remove the dependency for this slicer. So we have ion range slicer, and we just need to delete it also. And perfect, we have a channel that we cannot change anymore. So the as important are the dependencies, and that's why we need really um, to take our Shining speed to the next level. We need to really know how to manage our dependencies to have new experiences. So let's move to the next chapter. In this chapter, we are going to see how to handle HTML dependencies with HTML tools. But let me first stop and start. I think that John prefers to have those chapters individually. Okay, hello, this is the Data Science Learning Community, and we are going to see now chapter for how to handle HTML dependency with HTML tools. Our learning objectives will be how to use HTML tools to manage the CSS and JavaScript dependencies, how to use the HTML dependency, tag list functions to create our customized functions, and also we can uh, administer our dependencies, define dependencies, suppress dependencies, or resolve dependencies. Uh, Using all these options, opens the doors to work almost with any web framework. Let's imagine that we saw this car object in the material design for Bootstrap. This is another web framework. It's like a more, how to say that, like a specific version of Bootstrap. So you have many elements. It's based on Bootstrap, but it has done more of the work, and you can pick check boxes and any other element that you see here. And here you can see the HTML code, and that's the source of, of this HTML code that you see here. So you saw this element and say, hey, this element is useful for my Shiny app. I want to use this element. And you get the HTML code. And then you translate it and grab that code into an R function using the with tabs and the div, just like copying and pasting all the structure and replacing with uh, R functions. Perfect. Now we have this element and we can reuse it how many times we need. But when we just render into a fluid page, uh, basically it doesn't look like we expect. Why? Because we didn't load the needed dependencies. And the first step that we need to use for using dependencies is to locate them. Uh, we can locate them maybe in a local folder under the www folder that we have in our repo, in the Shiny app, or we can use a content delivery network like CDMJS, and that's the approach that the author used for this MB, MDB UI kit for this package. So it just save in a variable. Okay, this our content delivery network that we are going to use, and this is the particular CSS that we want. We are interested in this object, in this version, and this is the name of the file. That's basically, and you can find many more dependencies in this website. So we go to home, we can search for that dependency, or we can select a different version, and we see the links that they provide us. Well, and now we need to add that dependency. We have several ways to do it. The first way is just manually go to the fluid page and add into the head the link. Okay, you say I have a link, it's a style sheet, the type is a CSS, and here's the path to the where is the file. And we render, we see this result now. It's more close than what we saw before. And we can see the dependency just at the end. It's interesting to know that the dependencies, especially for CSS, work like are dependencies. The last that that you call is the most important one. If, for example, you have in Bootstrap a class card, for example, and you have a card dependency in this last one, uh, your your page will use the last one, not the first one. You also can use include CSS. It will get the same results. So you use fluid page, into the head, you include the CSS. But rather than adding a link, it copies all the code related and add it to the DOM. I don't know which is faster, It's like a little bit noisy to see it in this way. Like you have the style, and you at this point, unless you open the tag, you don't know what dependencies you are loading. There might be, you know, useful cases for using this, but it's not like the way that the author is taking for this chapter. But we also have the HTML dependency, and that's the best way. Why? Because it will allow us to add a name for our dependency and also a version. So here we are missing the name version of the dependency that we added here as a link. Yeah, they are the elements that we need to use this function. And so you have a name for this dependency. You manually place a version of this dependency, and then you define, maybe a external or a local path for that. That's really useful because you can grab this into a function and you can use it in a package. Like, okay, I want to share this particular button or this particular element, and you can do it. But you need to grab always the HTML dependency into a function in order that the variable, in order to get the information at runtime, no when the packet is built. Otherwise, you will lose the reference, especially for the local path. Now that you have your dependency, you can, okay, I have my element called tag, and now you just need to add the dependency using tag list. And now you can share your element in a package. But even though you add it in the pack, the function HTML dependency doesn't locate the dependency in the place that we were expecting. That was at the end. So you have your dependency of MDB for Bootstrap, but it will lose, you know, the priority because Bootstrap is after that dependency. That's the disadvantage. But we have more functions to work with dependencies, so we will able to solve that. Uh, for example, they are now moving forward to what happens if we want to extract some element from another package. The both stack uh, only work with the shiny dashboards. So what we can do? We load shiny dashboards. Okay, only work with shiny dashboard inside the page of shiny dashboards, but you want to use it into a fluid page. So you just want that element. You don't want the whole layout for a dashboard. You just want to use one particular element from this package. So what they do? They load the package, create a UI using the package. This is just empty. It's an empty chip. But now with HTML2, use find dependencies, and it will return a list with all dependencies. And here you see a summary, like, okay, they are loading jQuery in this version from Awesome, Bootstrap, uh, admin LTA, LTE, that is the underlying dependency for Shiny Dashboard. And also custom CSS for Shiny dashboard, like a template. Well, what happened? We want, for example, and we can see also the output. What is the disposition of the list? So you have the name, that was the one that was printing, and the version, and you was printing the name and the version for each element in the list using a separate. So you can see it have a source, it have the style sheet, the package, and all the elements we need related. And now that we extract the element, we can use it and integrate it. Like, okay, I have the bots element from the Shiny dashboard with its dependencies using the tag list. And now we can render the, the app just using fluid page. We don't need to use the normal function from Shiny dashboard. So yeah, this opens the door for using element for any package, any source, and customize uh, the look that we really want. Sometimes we don't want to use the default dependency that Shiny have. For example, a semantic page from Epsilon don't use Bootstrap. They use another web framework. What they do, they call suppress dependencies and call Bootstrap and just remove it, but inserting that function or that result into the body tag. That is the same behavior we have here. Okay, I have this shiny dashboard, but we are not going to use the admin LTA, LTE element. So we can just suppress that. However, I think that the reason, even though the auto doesn't express why we are suppressing dependencies, is like your app will take less time to render, you have less dependencies. Like we have in our package, like if you have less package, your code will render will go faster because it doesn't need to load all that information. Sometimes you want to move from one version to a newer version, and you can use the resolve dependencies function. It always takes the last version. In this case, they were in the book example, they were moving for 5.13 to 5.15, but the point is, at the moment, the current version is using the form awesome is 6.4. So when we use this function, uh, it basically use the latest one. So yeah, you just need to define the dependency, the newest one. You define as usual. You see, in this case, he's using a local no, CDN also. And use list and merge together both. In this case, he's extracting from Shiny. What is the dependency that they're using for fonts by picking the first element. And okay, and that's it. That's why you manage that part. And to finalize this, you can also insert custom a JavaScript. Uh, to me, this is really advanced. But what they do is inside the HTML dependency that they are defining here, it also have a head, and they say, okay, you are providing me an option to this uh, as an argument, please use this. It's like defining a variable, this variable as a JSON. So you're using JSON live uh, to get the options. Like you're receiving a list, and yeah, the JSON live is taken to into a JSON file, and using the paste function is just passing to a script tag that can be used. And here is the result. So you see, oh, adding this JSON variable m, as we are using this, I mean, for the dashboard, it will change the behavior of the dashboard. Any question or any comment?
Not really. It's just it's very impressive the versatility. You know, uh, just dealing with all these dependencies is definitely a complicated task, but this is definitely good to think about.
Yeah, as we maybe don't know how to. We're no we're developers. It's like for us, like I don't know why I want to pick, but it seems like they are picking information for these libraries. Like, look, this looks really close to Shiny, and you can. Oh, I need to buy this one. Interesting. Yeah, it's no it's not see as a open source project. Like I can pick some of them, but not all of them. But yeah, this is just one framework, and the main idea is that we are not limited. Uh, just to pick for Bootstrap, we can use different frameworks. We can uh, uh, grab HTML into a function. So the main message, like, okay, you find this HTML somewhere, create a function, create a function with that element, and make sure to add the dependencies that you need for the function. And that's it. That's to me the main takeaway. And you will be able to use it. So to me, there was a really good chapter. And yeah, that will open the door just not to have the shiny UI that we used to have, or just depend on package that implement those libraries. We can, oh, I want to use this. It doesn't mind. No, nobody have is using that right now, or we don't have any available package. Well,